Woo!
Welcome to my WWE Royal Rumble 2019 late recap and results from all the matches that we have from the show. A pretty long pay-per-view, just as I expected, for two different Rumbles, two separate Rumbles of the show, and some matches went longer than others, I want to say. And also, just to start, I'm just going to go through every match that was showcased, and it was basically nothing different, but just a different order. And they added one match that didn't make the match card that I didn't notice that was going to be in the or be showcased for the event. This tag team match, and we're just going to start with the kickoff shows, the kickoff matches first, and then we'll go to the main show, everything that happened. And then I'll talk about my feelings about some things I noticed that happened, some of my personal favorite matches from the show, and then we'll go from there from some other things I want to mention with the shows in general. So this match that I didn't expect to even have a appearance on the show, let alone a spot on the match card. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, the Raw Tag Team Champions, didn't even have to defend their titles, but they had a match to kick off the event, taking on Rezar from AOP and Scott Dawson, the tag team. So they paired them up to take on Chad and Bobby Roode. But the stipulation in the match was that if they had won, which they didn't, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode ended up winning the match. But if the team of Rezar and Scott Dawson from the Revival, if they won, both of their tag teams would have qualified for a title shot. So they both would have been eligible for a title shot against the Raw Tag Team Champions. So it would have been basically a triple threat with Chad Gable and Bobby Roode taking on AOP and then the Revival. But it's not like, even though they did lose, it's not like this is probably not going to be something that's going to probably happen down the road. AOP's going to come back and want back at the tag team titles. Maybe some other tag teams like the B team. Remember that? Remember how good they are with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Remember they had a pop, and then they just don't even come on. They don't even have any matches anymore. They don't even appear on the show like that. And that's something that I don't like. It's just like they put out the tag teams, give them a title, give them the shots, and put them on a tag team, put them in the title picture, but then they just lose, and then they never are seen again. So I don't know if they're going to ever bring them back, the B team. B team, go. But I don't know what's going to happen. But it's not like they're not going to probably give them a title shot anyway, because they're probably going to be doing a huge tag team match, fatal four-way. They're probably going to add in the B team. AOP, Chad Gable, the tag team champions, of course, and then the Revival, and maybe some other tag teams out there that they want to probably pair up with Heath Slater and Rhino, for another example, and whoever else they decide to throw out there as well for a match, for maybe something like a WrestleMania tag match, just to think of that. But that was what the results for that match. So Shinsuke Nakamura ends up becoming a new U.S. champion against Rusev. I thought Rusev was going to really probably end up retaining. I thought Lana was going to get involved, but she didn't. So now Shinsuke Nakamura has the U.S. championship again. But something that I noticed that I also forgot to mention earlier with him, I hope they have him defend his title, because I had noticed that a couple of weeks when he was the champion for a while, he didn't even have to defend his title. They didn't even give him any opponent. They didn't. They just had him walk around, appear on the show, have regular matches, non-title matches, if any. He didn't even have any opponents on some of those pay-per-view shows. Like, how come Shinsuke didn't even have a match? From the past few pay-per-views, he didn't have a match. Before Rusev even got into the title picture, feuding with Nakamura, he was just holding the championship and just carrying it around. It's as if the writers didn't even care about the title or Nakamura as a whole. It's just as if the U.S. title was meaningless. It didn't even mean anything. But now, I just hope that they don't do that. Maybe they'll give him some more opponents. Like, Rusev might come back and just try one of his rematch, of course. And then maybe some other competitors might want to come back into the title hunt, get into the U.S. Championship title hunt to spice things up on the road to WrestleMania. I don't know what they're going to do here. But I like both superstars anyway. But I just hope that they actually give him have him defend his title as if he's not unwilling to defend his title, just champion. I just didn't like how they did that. And I don't know if anyone else noticed that from those other previous events way before, when he still had the championship for a while, and Rusev didn't even get into the picture when he had that whole thing going on with Lana, and a whole different storyline for him. But those are the results for that match. So he's the new United States of Nakamura. I'll say that. I like how Corey Graves said that. But the last pre-show or kickoff match, whatever you want to call it, was the Cruiserweight Championship Fatal 4-Way. A pretty good match. I had Buddy Murphy retaining, and he did, against Hideo Itami and Akira Tozawa and Kalisto. So a pretty good match. And I think the Cruiserweights matches are really underrated. I think they're pretty good matches that they put on. I wish they would bring them back on Raw when they were like the Raw exclusive. They were part of Raw. They had like a different setting, a different tone from just all the other main superstars, the big guys, the bigger main eventers and stuff. It was a good part of the show that I really enjoyed being a part of Raw. But I feel like they changed it because they didn't have time for it. They had all those other different storylines to put together and different promos and all the different events that would take place during the 3-hour show. But I still think that they could fit that in. But they decided to move it after SmackDown Live on Tuesdays, which is called 205 Live, for the Cruiserweight division. So pretty good match. I love the Cruiserweights. Always did, always will, and very good matches that they put on, in my opinion. And definitely check those out for sure. But on to the main show, the Royal Rumble starts. And this one really caught me off guard. I didn't see this coming because they started the match. They started the whole show off with arguably, I think it was personally my personal favorite of the entire show. If you're not going to watch any other match besides the Royal Rumble match, the 2 Rumble matches of the women's Royal Rumble match and then the men's Royal Rumble match, I'll just say Rumble match, so I don't keep saying Royal Rumble. If you're going to watch the 2 Rumble matches and maybe nothing else, definitely you got to see the Asuka and Becky Lynch match. I think this was one of the best matches I've ever seen, and this is from my personal opinion. I don't know about anyone else out there that will probably say the same thing, or maybe some other people that watch WWE still to this day and kept up with every show. I think the women's division has put on the way better matches than the men's division. And I don't know if anyone would disagree or agree, but this is just what I got from watching the show. I've been watching the show every week and watched the show for years, and seeing the women's division really evolve compared to what it was like before when they were divas back then for the Attitude Era. But now it's the women's division. They got these different variety of matches, last man standing matches, or now they call them last women standing matches, steel cage matches, all types of matches like that, and no holds barred. They're taking it to the next level, and then they had their own little exclusive pay-per-view. So I just really think that matches like this is the perfect example of why the women's division is a little bit ahead of the men's division when it comes to just the matches that they put on. This was so good of a match. I wouldn't even mind rewatching this on a WWE network just to rewatch this one match because it was just that good. And Asuka ends up retaining against Becky Lynch, but something happens with Becky down the road later on. I'm going to get into after these matches, these next matches that I'm going to also tell you guys about. So it wasn't the end for Becky. It wasn't the end of Becky Lynch for sure, but definitely a hell of a good match and one of the best matches I've seen this year, if not a top tier match already for 2019. The next match was Miz and Shane, the Co-Besties duo, taking on The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Now, The Miz and Shane are now the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, just as I predicted. Some of my predictions were spot on, but of course, I don't even really bother just in mind not getting all the predictions spot on. But I just wanted to see some different pace. I just gave some superstars the benefit of the doubt. I'll just say the writers the benefit of the doubt for some of these choices for the match card here. But something that I really enjoyed from this match, the ending of when Shane did when we all thought, I'm sure if you saw this match, you guys must have thought that Shane was going to do the leap of faith. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see coast to coast. I wanted to see that. I love when he does that move. but he didn't do the leap of faith. He does a shooting star press off the top turnbuckle. It was amazing. And I had to replay and rewind it a few times because it was that good. And the whole crowd was just going bonkers, just in shock, just going crazy. Just seeing him just come and get that airtime with that shooting star press and hit it, and then he gets the win for his team to become the new champions, tag team champions. So that was really good. So they're the SmackDown tag team champions now. The next match was Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey. Another good match. And I picked Sasha to win because I thought she could probably end that. I thought she would probably be one of the. I think she's one of the superstars that can probably end up beating her. But I don't know. I guess. But if you watch this match, she really took her to her limit, and it made it seem like she was more than capable of beating Ronda Rousey. If you watched it, it was just another good women's division match from the show. And also, I would say my second pick, my top number 2 for my other favorite match of the show, Asuka, and then this one, Asuka's match, and then Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey. But Ronda Rousey ends up retaining the championship. So I kind of think of her as the Brock Lesnar of the division, of the women's division now, because she's so undefeated. No one can seem to stop her. Even though she's good, I don't have an issue with her. But at least she's defending her title and she shows up on the shows, unlike someone. But it's pretty wild to see how she's just beating everyone as she goes against. And I've just had that feeling that maybe no one out there can really beat her on Raw. Maybe someone on SmackDown is probably going to end up beating her. Maybe someone on a SmackDown superstar can probably end up beating her and taking that title. But I don't know. She might just be unstoppable. They might have someone out of the ordinary come and just maybe find a way to win, maybe do a little trick, cheat to win, to try to find a way to try to get the belt and win the championship match by taking another way out to win without winning legitimately. Because I can't just imagine seeing Ronda just submit in a submission hold, or a pinfall, Just imagine that. But I don't know. It might be someone out there that can probably beat her. So, but when I watched this match, I just seen that I had more faith in Sasha Banks as if she was gonna win. I really thought she was gonna win just based off this match. And if you go and watch it and see the stuff that was being just implemented, just stuff that was happening in the match as a whole. But let's go on to the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble match. I almost messed up. But about Becky Lynch, she ends up winning the match, and I didn't think she was going to be in the Rumble because she had already lost to Asuka. She was already exhausted. It was a long, exhausting match, and for her, but it was amazing to see her take the place of Lana, who was already injured when she was trying to come out in the Rumble, limping her way down to the ring. She couldn't even make it all the way, so the refs had to stop her. Becky Lynch comes out of nowhere and decides to take her spot, and she ends up winning the Rumble. Of course, just as if you haven't already predicted, Charlotte was the last one that she was standing in the ring going against her one-on-one. So she ends up eliminating Charlotte from the Rumble to win the whole thing as a whole. And it became to the point where I knew that she was probably going to win because not only because she came out, she seemed more fresh because Charlotte was already in the ring for a while compared to all the other superstars. Some other picks I had was Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and then maybe someone else by surprise. But I just didn't expect Becky Lynch to come up in the ring. But I guess that's pretty cool. I don't have an issue with the result. But when you think about the women's division, I just want to say and share, it's just you're going to think about Charlotte. You're going to say Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and then obviously the champion herself, Ronda Rousey, and then Asuka. But any other superstars? Are you thinking about Ember Moon or are those other superstars that don't really get the spotlight? Mickie James. Some people here and there will probably think of Mickie James for the women's division. It doesn't matter which show that you're thinking about, Raw or SmackDown. Some people are going to occasionally mention Mickie James and Natalya. But any other superstars like that? And then Alexa Bliss, not to also mention up there as another most memorable uh, most mentioned superstar, but no one else is gonna really come up in the by the word of mouth for the show, because that's the problem with the company now. It's just the same people getting the opportunities and the belts that they already been champions already. We already seen these guys win, get in the spotlight, get someone else. How about showing some love to someone else? Don't you have any other? You have other superstars. It's as if you don't have any other talent and you don't believe in your own roster and the people that you put on and signed on your roster. It's as if you don't have any faith and confidence in them. Oh, they're not good enough. Why are they on your show? Why are they even on the brand? And some people probably, I wonder if you guys even ever think about that. Not even just this division, just the whole company. It makes me think about it. It's the same matches, and just matches like this. Daniel Bryan and AJ, because Becky Lynch already won the Rumble match. This was the next match after the Rumble. Daniel Bryan, AJ, matches like this I can never get tired of seeing, but you want to see some other superstars getting those title opportunities. Daniel Bryan is a retaining, but I didn't really like the ending of this. Eric Rowan coming out of nowhere to interfere, and then basically hands Daniel Bryan the championship easily to finish off AJ. He didn't really have to do anything because Rowan just slams AJ to the ground and he's done for it right off the bat. But who saw Eric Rowan appearing? You see all those different superstars that just come up missing, and then they come up out of nowhere. What are they going to do with this? How are they going to play this? What are they going to do with this storyline? Is Eric Rowan going to try to recruit Daniel Bryan? And what about Luke Harper? We haven't even seen those two guys in a while. And that, it makes me pose those questions. What's going to be Eric Rowan's role? He's probably going to eventually turn on Daniel Bryan. He's probably going to win a championship. But what's his whole storyline in this? How's the SmackDown Live going to go about this way? You know, AJ Styles is going to go after him. But we haven't even seen superstars like that. They just come and go and disappear, and you never see them again. You tend to forget about the superstars because they use the same people that get the spotlight over and over. So it had me confused just seeing him just get involved in his match. It was good, but it just had a bad ending with, I just didn't like the ending with Eric Rowan coming out of nowhere, because they were just really going at it, going back and forth over and over. So it's just, I like both superstars, one of my top tier favorites of this era, but I don't know what they were going with this. Eric Rowan out of nowhere, out of all people. Even the commentators was like, what's he doing out here? Eric Rowan. They should have put him in the Rumble. But on to the WWE Universal Championship, I put my faith into Finn Balor, but he gave it all he could. He ended up topping out. But I didn't even count the suplexes. That's what I meant to do. How many suplexes was he going to take? He took him to Suplex City, but he did the best he could. I wish he went Demon. But I saw a sign on it in the crowd saying, "We want Demon. We want the Demon." I wish he did. I wish he went Demon, but I don't know. I just wish it makes me just wonder, like, why did they have him go through that? They have him go through all those different steps and pedestals, those different obstacles, different hurdles. He got over the hurdle by beating Jinder Mahal to retain his fatal four-way spot to go against John Cena, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. He beats them. He pins John Cena. Then he goes to the Rumble, and then just to lose to get his title opportunity, just to lose. And of course, he's facing Brock Lesnar, the guy who's been holding the championship for I don't know how long. And they don't give this guy. He doesn't even compete too much. Barely competes in the matches, and let alone in the ring. And we don't even see this guy on the show. So we don't know how it's going to really play out now. Now that he ended up retaining the title. That was just right after the championship match. And then we got the Men's Rumble. We didn't really see many highlights here, or surprises, I want to say. It's almost I knew who was going to come out as it came to a close, especially the final 10 entrants. But something that I really liked about this Rumble was Nia Jax being in the Rumble, taking the spot of R-Truth in number 30, destroying R-Truth, and then getting into the Rumble. So she was a female competitor, another female competitor, along with Beth Phoenix from a while back, to enter the Rumble. So that's history right there. She even eliminated Mustafa Ali from SmackDown. It was pretty wild. She got an elimination in the Rumble. But what was crazy is that Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler, and Rey Mysterio ganged up on Nia Jax to eliminate her. She got hit with the 619. Well, before first she got kicked by Dolph Ziggler, a super kick by Dolph Ziggler. Then she got hit with a 619 by Rey Mysterio. Then an RKO by Randy Orton. And then she gets eliminated. That something unusual there, but it was a cool highlight to see in the Rumble, something different at least. But I'm happy with this result. I want to also just mention Seth Rollins winning the Royal Rumble, but I had a feeling that he was going to win just the way he was put through the table by Bobby Lashley and out of nowhere. So I knew once he got put through the table, he's going to be out for a while. So he wasn't going to be in the match, active in the match, I want to say. And just for a while all the other superstars were competing one by one, just eliminating each other and just weakening them and tiring themselves out, just for Seth Rollins to recover just enough to try to eliminate Braun Strowman. It came down to Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose was in it, but he got eliminated by Aleister Black. And from this Rumble, both Rumbles as a whole, I saw more NXT superstars than actual legends from the others. Just thinking about the other Rumbles from the years from before, I saw more NXT superstars than anything else. Not really many legends. Jeff Jarrett was number 2 going against Elias. Elias hits him with a guitar and just eliminates him. I didn't really know that. Besides Jeff Jarrett, who was a Hall of Famer, we didn't see other Hall of Famers make an appearance in the Rumble besides Jeff Jarrett. They just put him in it. Maybe the others didn't even want to be in the Rumble for the legends. So I guess they wanted to showcase the NXT talent. I got to see some new superstars that I never even seen compete before. Pete Dunne, that was really good. Aleister Black, that I haven't really seen much of. All these different other superstars, even from the Women's Royal Rumble. Kyrie, that I also recognized, and some others as well that stood out. Nikki Cross to come into the first Rumble, and then many other NXT superstars that really put on the show that I really like seeing. So I guess that's probably why they did it. You know, no more legends. They probably thought no more legends, and let's get some NXT talent in there to be showcased, their in-ring abilities, and then see what they do, see how far they can get. But who knew that an NXT superstar would eliminate Dean Ambrose? I thought Ambrose was going to be in the last few remaining superstars with last remaining superstars in the mix for the Rumble, for the men's Rumble, like Seth Rollins, because it was Seth Rollins, I think it was Seth Rollins, Andrade, and I forgot the other superstar that was with them. It was pretty cool to see that Andrade, Cien Almas, I like him, make that just last as long as he did. Really underrated, really up and comer, a nice up and coming superstar, and I think he has the potential to be a champion, especially the matches he's been putting on against Rey Mysterio. So it's pretty cool to see that. But I'm happy with Seth Rollins being the champion. Well, not a champion yet. He could be a champion. I'm hoping that he does be a champion. One of my favorites. He was one of my picks besides Drew McIntyre, Samoa Joe, and Bray Wyatt. We didn't even get a chance to see it. We didn't see him. He wasn't even in the Rumble. Thought I mentioned that. No really surprise returning superstars from injury. Matt Hardy wasn't in it. Jeff Hardy was in it already. I already knew he was. But no other surprise superstars that came in and made an appearance in the Rumble. Well, maybe they'll make a return tomorrow. We might see Sami Zayn. Some other superstars that had the potential of possibly showing up for rumors for the Rumble. But they might show up tomorrow. They might show up during the Elimination Chamber. And I think now that Rollins won, I don't know who he's going to challenge. He's obviously going to probably just... I know who he's going to challenge. He's going to probably go after the Beast to try to slay the Beast. He slayed the King. He the King Slayer already. So he burned that down. He burned that throne down. So now he's going to have to go after the Beast and try to slay him if he can. But that's if they let him. Because it's not on us. That's if the writers decide to let him win and go on to WrestleMania without getting screwed and losing to Brock Lesnar, unless he heads over to SmackDown. But that's unlikely. to go to SmackDown and try to challenge for the WWE Championship, he's definitely going to go after Brock Lesnar. Now, do I think it's probably going to be Seth Rollins and Brock one-on-one? I think some other superstars might find their way into the match, maybe at WrestleMania. Maybe. I don't know what they're going to do with Dean Ambrose. I don't know what they're going to do with Drew McIntyre. Speaking of him, he got eliminated by Ziggler, so they're probably going to do Drew McIntyre and Ziggler all over again. That was basically the show. But what I just don't like is that it is becoming so predictable where you don't even really have to watch the matches. You don't really have to even watch the events. You can watch little snippets of the show and be able to already just look up, just go and check it later on, whatever you're doing, and don't even watch the events all the way and say, hey, I already know this guy won. You don't even have to look. And that's why I think that the writers should do differently, because it's becoming too unpredictable. It's becoming too predictable where you know who's going to win, and the same people keeps getting the spotlight, and they always end up winning the matches. And all those people that you want to win, that you root for, that you want to see them go further, that you know that they can be greater if given the chance. Drew McIntyre, for example, and all those different superstars that are probably title shot worthy and championship material, with potential and the passion and have the drive to be champions and the hunger to be champions, but the writers won't give them a chance. They just continue to let them fall and lose and just leave them in the dust. I just don't like how they do that. So I just wish that they probably would do something different. The writers can do so much stuff that they can probably do with the superstars, with the talent. I don't know how these storylines are going to go. It's so much stuff they can probably do differently to make the shows better, to make the matches unpredictable, instead of the same feuds over and over. Let's get some more people in the spotlight. Let's get some other people a chance at the titles and have them be a champion, just like they did with Bray Wyatt when they finally gave him the WWE title. I had to bring up again. He was a good champion. It was nice to see him with the title in his hand, someone that was deserving of it, someone different as a good champion, and not instead of the same people getting the spotlight. As much as you like him, and I gotta say, I like Seth Rollins. I'm happy with the result that he won, but I was hoping for someone different to win the match. I was hoping for someone who was least expected to be picked, instead of playing favorites against the same people, or who I know who's probably gonna win, who I know is gonna be the last one standing. People like Andrade was one of the last people, superstars standing, which I never seen coming. I liked how they did that, but they could have gave someone else a win. They could have gave someone else the dub to go on to Royal Rumble. But I don't know what they're gonna do. They might have Seth Rollins end up losing. I don't know what someone else is probably gonna find their way in the match for the championship matches. And even if he does take on Brock Lesnar by himself, he's probably not gonna have that belt for long, because Roman Reigns is probably going to come back. If Seth comes back, has the championship, just imagine Roman Reigns might even come back and challenge him for the title, because he had to relinquish the title, and that's going to probably start that feud up again. Dean Ambrose is probably going to get involved, and they might even have them go at it, and just trying to go at just one title shot individually, and maybe some other superstars again. But we'll just have to see what they do. I don't know how you guys liked it, but again, my personal matches, my best match, the best match of the night goes to Asuka and Becky. Asuka versus Becky, and then I'll follow it up with Sasha and Ronda Rousey, and then I'll say the Daniel Bryan and AJ, except the ending, but if anything, it's just that the ending wasn't all that good. I'll just say the Rollins win at the Royal Rumble was my highlights for me. But let me know how you guys liked the Rumble, who you wanted to see win, what you think what you think will happen, and I know Becky's gonna probably go after Ronda, so that's obviously, I don't know if that's any surprise, because she's supposed to be a fighter, go against her, unless she decides to go somewhere else or do something else. I don't know. But let me know what you guys thought about the Royal Rumble. Thanks for watching. Late upload, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Elimination Chamber goes. So we'll have to see what goes. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's already Monday, so we'll see what happens today during the show, and then see how SmackDown plays out with these storylines and what they're going to be planning to do. Because now that the Royal Rumble's over, they're going to probably start getting matches ready for the Elimination Chamber. So we'll just have to see and hope for the best for some of these superstars. have Seth Rollins win the championship, and then maybe some other surprise, some news. Maybe Roman Reigns might come back. We'll have superstars like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn back in the competition, and they might win at the title, the WWE Universal Championship as well. So we'll have to see what they do. It's just up to the writers, and it just sucks that we can't get what we want out of these superstars that are deserving to be championship. But it's all up to the writers, it's all up to the company, and what Vince decides to do for the wrestlers and the companies going forward for their futures to have them grow. But if they're not going to utilize their talent, why do they have them on the show in the first place?